This question says, write the factored form of the expression below. And the expression is pretty straightforward. It's just 10a plus 40c minus 70. And they want us to factor it. Now, the key term here is that word factor, or rather factored form. And when they want us to show the factored form, they want us to, literally, to factor. And that word factor is basically whenever you have a number that can divide another number. Okay, so factor means to divide. All right, so we're going to take this entire expression and we're going to find all the factors of these values and we're going to pick the greatest common factor. So the first thing I'll do is on the side over here, I'll write a list of factors, and I've got 10, 40, and negative 70. And we have to list the numbers that can divide all of these. Well, 1 can divide everything. They're all even, so 2 can divide everything. 3 can't divide this. 4 can't divide 10. 5 can divide everything because it ends in 0, so 5 will work. And 10 will also work because they all end in 0. And of these, the greatest factor is the value 10. So we'll use that as our factor when we're factoring our expression. So let's put a box on everything and then break it up into our terms. So I want to box it, and then I want to focus on just this. But let's wait until we have the factor there too, the GCF. So I have this expression here, and I have to break it up into its terms. Now remember, the terms are separated by plus and minus signs. So my first term is positive 10a, and it stops right here before this plus sign. This begins the second term. We've got 40c, and this is the next minus sign, so that stops this second term. So my second term is positive 40c, and my final term is just a constant negative 70. And now what I'll do is I will take this here, and I'll put a line across, and I'll just put a label for the GCF, right? Let's just write it in, GCF. And we said before, the GCF is the greatest common factor, and in this case, it's 10. So let's write a little arrow going down with the value 10. Now let's zoom in a little bit. I want to focus on just the expression. Okay. Let's move that over a little bit. All right, perfect. So our GCF is 10, and we're going to take each of these terms and divide each one by 10. So let's do that. I'm going to also put an arrow going this way because I'm going to divide each term by 10. Divide this term by 10, then I'll divide this term by 10, and then I'll also divide this term by 10. So I've got 10a divided by 10 will give us, oh, by the way, don't forget your parentheses here. So you've got your greatest common factor outside parentheses. So you've got your open parentheses at the beginning of this expression, and you'll have the last closing parentheses over here. So like I said before, we got 10 divided by 10, and that will give us 1a, positive 1a. Now remember, you don't have to put the 1. It's understood mathematically. So you could just put a, and that would be fine as well. So we're done with this term, because 10 divided by 10 gives us 1a. We'll go to the next term, positive 40c. We've got positive 40 divided by 10, and that will give us positive 4c. So we'll put that here, positive 4c. And we're done with that term. And now we have negative 70 divided by 10, and that will give us negative 7. So when they're asking us for a factored form, they're just asking us for this, and we've got our final answer right here in the box. Okay, so our final answer is 10 parentheses 1a plus 4c minus 7. That is this expression. We're done with the 70. This is our expression from up here in its factored form. And if you ever wanted to double check, you can always just go backwards and distribute. If you multiply 10 times 1a, you'll get 10a. If you multiply 10 times positive 4c, you'll get 40c. And if you multiply 10 times negative 7, you'll get negative 70. Just to double check that you're correct.